Welcome to Daily 5 for Monday, April 14th, 2025. If you've listened to the show for a while, you should be familiar with the name Ant Pruitt, who is the host of the podcast that is titled Everyday People. There will be a link, of course, in the show notes. He has guest hosted a few times, and I've done a number of shows with him as part of the late night series, including some Adobe Max overviews where we talked about the Adobe Max shows and what we thought of what they had announced. But today, I'm going to talk about his extraordinarily talented wife, Phoebe Pruitt, who I recently purchased an item from, and this is part of a series of ceramic crafts that she does that she calls the Plantastic Potheads. And what these are, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen these, but I will link to her Instagram so that you can see examples. These are custom-made ceramic plant holders. And I got one for my wife as a surprise gift that she absolutely loved. And basically, I asked for it to be made in the style of Nightmare Before Christmas. My wife is a big fan of that movie, and so, as it turns out, is Mrs. Pruitt. And this thing, when I opened it up, I was just floored, and my wife was every bit as impressed as I was, because this is the thing. Now, I don't doubt for a minute that Disney has probably mass-produced any number of plant holders from the Nightmare Before Christmas franchise. And, probably one's made of plastic, ceramic, glass, everything in between, who knows. The thing is, when you buy one of those, anybody else who buys one gets the same thing that you do, the same mass-produced carbon copy version of that product, which is fine as far as it goes, but I will tell you that nothing beats getting something that somebody actually handcrafted. This thing, again, it's on my Instagram, and I believe she has pictures on hers as well. It is just gorgeous, and it is why I love getting things directly from artists. There's so many little details in this thing that just make it unique, one of a kind. I mean, it is just absolutely spectacular. And so I wanted to talk about it for today's 5 because I wanted to send anybody who wants something like this. And, it's a small plant holder. You can put a little succulent or something. It's made to be on a desk, say in an office. It's not very big, which is good. That's exactly, I didn't want some huge, pot holder or anything like that. So I don't know what the actual dimensions are. I'm looking at it right now. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 inches in diameter and probably about 6 or 7 inches high, but don't hold me to that. I'm terrible with figures. But just a perfect small gift. It was one of these things where I thought, oh, my wife's going to love this, and she absolutely did. And again, there is just nothing that compares to when an artisan makes something that is one of a kind, that that even if somebody else asks for one of these things, they're not going to get the same one that I got. And there is just no comparison to getting something that is a one of a kind piece of art. So I wanted to highlight it because I'm not necessarily, I like Nightmare Before Christmas perfectly fine. I don't want to make it like I don't like it, even though it is a musical. It's one of the small number that I actually enjoy, but I am nowhere near as much of a super fan of it as my wife is. And even I, looking at this thing, was really just floored by all the little details. The earrings on it are of Jack and Sally. There's all these individual little sequins. I think they're sequins. I don't know what the technical term for some of this stuff is because I don't make these things, but it's very obvious this took time, effort, and talent. And that's what you want when you get something like this. So I just wanted to talk about it for a little bit. Right now, I don't think that she has a website up. So if you'd like to order one, go ahead and email podcast@antpruitt.com and put something in the subject matter about, pothead order or whatever you want. And that way he can get it going for you. But I really could not have been more thrilled with how this thing turned out and really, even more than the actual piece itself, it was my wife's reaction because she really just didn't expect this at all. So this is one of those things that for so many people is a kind of, I'm not great at getting gifts because most of the people I get them for, including my wife, will say, I don't need anything. And so it's like, well, what am I going to do? But this was one of these I'm thinking of you. I want to get you something that I know you'll like. And I tell you, the thing is just gorgeous. So again, I just wanted to go ahead and talk about it for a few minutes because this thing exceeded all my expectations. So again, podcast@antpruitt.com. If you would like to get one of your own, and you should, of one of these little Plantastic Potheads. They are excellent and couldn't recommend it highly enough. Later.